Hopefully that's the green light. We going? Yep, we're going. Alright, so we're back to doing this. We're going to be probably adding in effects as much as taking out any like air pockets or anything that may have gotten caught in the noise gate. So yeah, fun day ahead. Sonny, what are you doing? Stay up there with your friends. Alright. Time is it's noon. Okay. So let's see, what do I need here? Well, I need is this already EQ'd? The blaring of the factory alarm was what woke both Absentee and I the next morning. I don't think so. I had no idea what time. Nope, it's not EQ'd. Okay, did I just put a noise gate on it? I don't think it's EQ'd, not that I can hear anyway. I had no idea what time it was, but it didn't matter, seeing I had not slept well. The fact that I was in a place of death and horror had me wide awake. It's not even noise gated. Okay. Okay. Hello, Izzy. Okay, so first thing, not that. We need, I said not this. Ice. Is everything trying to test my patience this morning? Alright. I need a limiter first. Is it limiter? Yeah, it's limiter. Gotta always put the noise gate first. Okay. Let's go with the usual. Just the regular. Just try and adjust it from there. I had no idea what time it was, but it didn't matter, seeing I had not slept well. I had no idea what time it was, but it didn't matter, seeing I had not slept well. The blaring of the factory alarm was what woke both. Really? The blaring of the factory alarm was what woke both Absentee and I the next morning. It's hard to tell. The thing that scares me is that it's not that low volume. Alright. The blaring of the factory. Alright, so now I need an EQ. That's why that goes first. So that when you apply the EQ, the noise gate is already in place. So the noise gate won't be affected by any like volume problems. Always important you do it in the right order. Otherwise I could fuck it up. Alright, so we need to just turn these down. I wasn't sure if I was even going to have anything for Month of Macabre this year, guys. I'm sorry that I haven't put anything out as of late, but you gotta understand. There's a lot on my plate right now. Right now I'm trying to get RTBAA Part 1 completed. I'm trying to do some more writing for the Reborn Redux. I've got more of the writing the Bond of Ice and Lightning. I've got other too much. That's what I've got. I've got too much. Just part of being a YouTuber. That's literally it. It's literally a job. Anybody who says that YouTube ain't a job, go fuck yourself. If it pays you and it requires effort to the point of where you're about ready to pull your hair out, it's a job. If you get paid, a job counts as something that has employment. It requires hard work and you get paid for it. That's a job. YouTube back in the day when it first came out wasn't really a job, because basically all you saw on YouTube was like funny little videos, like cat videos and stuff like that, stupid stuff. But nowadays, yeah, it's a job, because it requires easily 20 plus hours of editing to make these. The blaring of the factory alarm was what woke both Absentee and I the next morning. I had no idea what time it was, but it didn't matter, seeing I had not slept well. The fact that I was in a place of death and horror had me wide awake the entire night. And I feel like that's just a little too choppy on the noise gate, so I think I'm going to adjust that just the teensy little bit take the sharpness or the closure out.
The blaring of the factory alarm was what woke both Absentee and I the next.
Oh no, it needs to go down. Duh.
The blaring of the factory alarm was what woke both Absentee and I the next morning. I had no idea what time it was, but it didn't matter, seeing I had not slept well. The fact that I was in a place of death.
I know something that's wrong. I know something that's wrong. Okay, so what I gotta do first is I've gotta go like... Is it fine if I just do it that way? Yeah, it's fine if I just do it that way. I don't have to push these down. All I have to do is just give a balancer, which is basically like a volume lever. I forgot that in Audacity, I turned the volume down for a reason. I'm gonna up the volume.
The blaring of the factory alarm.
Much better. Much better. So let's go about right about there. That should do her. And when we get to the louder stuff, I promise, I'll make sure it doesn't irritate you guys, because Rainbow Dash's voice is actually very, very high. So, I can already see it's right here. That whole entire, like, peaky place. Yeah. Okay.
The blaring of the factory alarm was what woke both Absentee and I the next morning. I had no idea what time it was, but it didn't matter, seeing I had not slept well. The fact that I was in a place of death and horror
Excuse me.
had me wide awake the entire night, and I doubt that I was the only pony within this place that was restless. Awake the entire night, and I doubt that I was the only pony within this place that was restless.
That's fine.
I had only been here for less than one night, while others, like Absentia, had been here for countless years. The factory was their home now, as was it mine. But not for long. I didn't plan to stay in this factory. I had to get in, do what I came here to do, and get out.
Okay.
Absentia groaned as she rose from the bed, following a message over an intercom. The voice was all too familiar, and made my blood boil at the sound of it. The Overmare. Rainbow Dash.
Alright. So, I have to determine if this noise gate is good enough, because it's going to be a little tricky to kind of get it all correct. So I think I need to just kind of look for the lower frequencies first, and just kind of determine if it's not going to be a problem. What is that?
So, what's your story, Absentia? I asked, attempting to make conversation.
That's normal. It's just my program being a dick.
Nothing important, kid. She answered rather quickly. I didn't accept that. I don't think so. I started. Something tells me that you're different from other workers here. Something tells me that you're different from other work. Absentia winced at my words.
It's fine.
And with that, I knew my assumption was correct.
Alright.
What makes you say that? I'll give you one thing, Scoots. You are excellent at reading ponies. You're right. I did hold back last night in hopes of you breaking my neck or suffocating me into the bliss that is death. I've wanted death to greet me ever since I became Rainbow Dash's second in command, having to do things that I could never forgive myself for. I never dreamed of becoming an elite flyer, but my parents forced me to. I was doomed from the moment I signed the document that admitted me into the flight academy. I was never good at flying and wanted to actually become a model for magazines, because where I failed in flying, I made up in beauty. Believe it or not, my mane used to be full of long curls, and
Those little air pockets can be taken care of. I just need to get to a point where I can export the one with the AQ and the noise gate, because that's how I plan to work. Okay, let's see here. Any other low frequencies? What the fuck is that? That looks like Rainbow Dash.
Pink diamond.
Oh.
Pink diamond. Minty fresh. Stormy cloud. Windy trail. Blue skies. Ember. Lightning flash. Starry night. Sunny day. Dazzle.
Okay, stop for a minute. I think those are all fine. I just gotta look for some lower frequencies like these kinds over here.
20 years, kid. She replied.
Okay. Just need to be absolutely sure. Holy guacamole. That's definitely Rainbow Dash.
You're late.
Yep. I don't have to worry about her being too low. Because she's noisy. She's very noisy. Let's see. Everything looks to be good at a good frequency, so that's good. About these kinds, like right here.
I was dead. I had failed again.
Okay. Just need to get a good estimate. What's this?
Congratulations, Rainbow Dash. You win again.
So breathy. Holy guaca shit. Alright. Everything looks fine. Alright, so I'm gonna just export that as the clean version, the EQ version. That way we can start working more efficiently. So that's step 1. Reborn. Oh my god, really me? Reborn chapter... That's not chapter 2 though, that's chapter 3. Part 2. Part 1. EQ. EQ clean. Alright. Just wait for that to do its thing, and then we'll continue. You bring that down, I heard that. Shit. That doesn't block my face, does it? I don't think it does. It's hard to tell sometimes. It does block my face a little bit, but I don't think that's what's important. Because if I move it out of the way, it kind of causes some plosives to happen. What I could do is like something like that, get out of my face. But then that happens. There we go. So how's everybody's day? Is everybody doing good? I hope so. But what I'm going to try and get done today is I'm going to try and like take out the air bubbles, and then I'm going to add the effects also as I go along. Do some like, you know, some spacing and stuff like that as well. A lot of work. Stuff that's not really fun to do alone. Gets kind of boring. I saw that Mark sent a photo. Players can redeem the following. They buy any redeem codes for August student. I've probably gotten those. Jesus Christ, me. Why am I so fucking quiet? Is my gain down? Oh, maybe because the mic is like 10 miles away from me. That could be a thing as well. Oh, I'm not looking forward to mixing this. I am not looking forward to mixing this. I remember before it was a freaking pain in the butt making making all those sounds. Especially when she's using the hose. Believe it or not, on YouTube there is not very many like good quality sound effects of like a water hose. Like a running water hose. So I remember I had to cut that sucker up and just kind of compile it into one thing. It was a pain in the butt. But that's the point. I'm supposed to try and make it better. It already does sound better, I can already tell you that, but yeah, just gotta be careful. But you guys are in for a treat because it's gonna be it's been completely like rewritten. It's still the same story, but it's so much better written. It has like, you know, better dialogues, it's got more details, it's got better descriptions. Like the freaking chapters went from like 2K words to like 4K. Like that's what we're talking here. Not to mention a lot of plot holes are being, you know, plugged and all that stuff, so it'll be interesting. I know there's going to be those people that, well, shut the fuck up. You know, unless you can do better, don't talk to me. And I mean that for the people who just do that to piss you off. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'd have to probably write that down. I think I'm pretty sure I've gotten this code, but you never know. So, NS92. Don't worry, it's nothing bad, guys. It's just a code for a game. PG6D B52M. Oh, you don't have to log into Genshin to do that. I forgot. That's only Star Rail. Redeem code. If this came out in 3.8, I'm pretty sure I've gotten it. But you never know. NS92 PG 60 B52, not 3, 2. M. So that should be correct. Now I gotta log into Genshin to see if it's valid or not. Well, I know it's valid, but I may have already had it. I may have already used it, so just gotta check that. Alright, I hope that nothing went wrong. Shouldn't have, but you never fucking know anymore. Alright, we need... Oh, for goodness sakes! Part 2. That one. You son of a bitch! I swear to God. Shush. Sorry, guys. Alright, this will only take a second. Should I just do my commissions? Well, no, I got work to do. Don't be a lazy sparrow. Alright, just gonna check to see if there's anything weird going on. Doesn't look like it, but you never fucking know. So it's very, very good that you check these things. Don't look like anything abnormal is going on, so that's a good sign. That's why you always keep your clean files. Otherwise that can be a problem. Alright, let's see. We need here. Mail. Oh. I didn't have it. Okay, thanks, Mark. Thank you. Thank you for your help in getting Primo Gems that I probably don't need, but hey. I'll do that later. I don't need to worry about that. Alright, let's not be a lazy bum. Should probably keep this on. Get out of Genshin. Alright. Okay. Now onto this.
The blurring of the factory alarm was what...
Oh god, I forgot. Now we can just cancel all these because we don't need them anymore. Delete. Delete. The balance, I'm not sure. Delete.
The blurring of the factory alarm was what woke both Absentee and I the next morning.
Yeah, that's fine.
I had no idea what time it was, but it didn't matter, seeing I had not slept well. The fact that I was in a place of death and horror had me wide awake the entire night, and I doubt that I was the only pony within this place that was restless. I had only been here for less than one night, while others, like Absentia, had been here for countless years. The factory was their home now, as was it mine. But not for long. I didn't plan to stay in this factory. I had to get in, do what I came here to do, and get out.
Okay.
Absentia groaned as she rose from the bed, following a message over an intercom. The voice was all too familiar, and made my blood boil at the sound of it. The Overmare. Rainbow Dash. Alright.
Alright. So now let's get that out. And I'm gonna have to cut this anyways, because I need to add an effect to Rainbow Dash's voice. Alright.
Good morning.
Yay. Alright, so I'm gonna take out the he said, she said because I don't really need those. Let's see. What is this?
On to choosing the worker to clean the Pegasus device. The way Rainbow Dash spoke.
Okay, so it'll go all the way to there. Now I gotta make it sound like it's an actual intercom. So, that'd be like a radio effect or something like that. Just gotta not make it so pitchy to where it actually starts to hurt the ears. Alright, so, yes. Wait, which one is it? Is it this one? Yeah, it's this one. Okay, move that to 2. Go to the second track. We need a EQ. We probably might need a limiter, not limiter, a thingamajig as well. I forgot what they're called. Balancer. Okay, we need like
On to choosing the worker.
How does the phone sound? No.
On to choosing the worker to clean the Pegasus device.
Okay, so that is very pitchy.
On to choosing the worker to clean the Pegasus device.
Let me listen to the radio one.
On to choosing the worker to clean the Pegasus device. The way Rainbow Dash spoke was unlike... On to choosing the worker to clean the Pegasus device.
I think I like the old phone one better. So we're gonna get that just a little teensy bit of a drop because we don't want it too pitchy.
On to choosing the worker to clean the Pegasus device.
Okay. So now we need a reverb. So this is just a low reverb, not a big one. Let's see.
On to choosing the worker to clean the Pegasus device.
Too strong.
On to choosing the worker to clean the Pegasus device.
That seems okay.
On to choosing the worker to clean the Pegasus device.
I think that's fine. That should be fine. It's noticeable, but just barely not noticeable enough, if you get my drift. We're probably going to need a balancer as well because we want it to kind of sound distant. Because it's not like right, ow, it's not right there. It's just like, yeah. Alright, let's see how loud this is all together.
Good morning, workers.
Little noisy. Okay, what is this?
Rainbow Dash. Rainbow Dash.
Alright. Let's see if this might work.
Rainbow Dash. Good morning, workers. As you all... Rainbow Dash. Good morning,
Oh, I'm gonna have to do the fucking trick, ain't I? Yep. Alright, so where is the radio?
Rainbow Dash. Good Rainbow Dash. Good morning, workers.
Yeah, that's fine. That'll work. Now, I need to turn it down a little bit. Make it sound a little distant.
Rainbow Dash. Good morning, workers. As you all know, our latest group of failures caused our beautiful machine's blades to jam, and the next import of failures will arrive in 2 days. So... Rainbow Dash. Good morning, workers. As you all know, our latest group of failures caused our beautiful machine's blades to jam, and the next import of failures will arrive in 2 days. So, some pony will have to clean those blades, and since I know all of you will refuse, the worker will be chosen randomly from our worker database. Also, due to last night's storm, our main power supply was damaged by a lightning strike, causing the security cameras to lose power. So we'll have to fix that as well. Worker database. Also, due to last night's storm, worker database. Also, due to last night's storm, our main power supply was damaged by a lightning strike, causing the security cameras to lose power. Some pony will have to fix that as well. But
yeah,
be
that's
careful
okay.
not to get electrocuted. As for our spectra handlers, the amounts of spectra produced are dropping. Therefore, a meeting will be held to fix that issue. Now, on to choosing the worker to clean the Pegasus device.
Okay.
The way Rainbow Dash spoke was unlike anything I had ever heard.
Yep,
It
that's
was
fine.
a cold and ruthless tone. It was as if she didn't care at all for her workers, and only cared that Pegasi were being murdered through the Pegasus device. How could Rainbow Dash pull off such a misleading act as a pony who represented loyalty, defeated evil tyrants, and inspired other Pegasi, when she was really a cold-hearted monster? It blew me away at just how well Rainbow Dash could pull it off, after countless years of being the overmare in this factory. The intercom static was replaced with Rainbow Dash's cold voice once more. The worker...
Okay. Let's see. What is this?
Absentia gave...
Okay. So this just has to be the same as track 2. So, good. Boom. Okay, I gotta use the bathroom real quick. Be right back. Alright. Let that just kind of creak open because it's hot, so...
Absentia gave me a look of horror as I raised an eyebrow.
The worker cleaning the Pegasus device will be 067138.
Seems pretty low.
Absentia gave me a look of horror as I raised an eyebrow.
Okay.
What? That's you.
Okay. So, the area we're in would have a small echo. The way I imagine it in my head is it's like a little bunker. It's like a little, like, bunker. With, like, metal walls. Let's see. Making use of sample. Let's see. So basically we have the reverb of like track 2, but without the radio effect. Let's see, reverb, so it was around 10%? Yeah. Let's see, Really?
The worker cleaning the Pegasus device will be 067138.
Alright.
Absentia gave me a look of horror as I raised an eyebrow. What? That's you.
Too powerful. Too powerful. I need to turn that down a lot. Because we're not in, like, a very big area. It's pretty high-packed.
The worker cleaning the...
Shut up, Rainbow Dash.
What?
That's better.
That's you.
Much better.
She confirmed. My heart dropped as I saw the numbers embedded into my name tag on my suit.
Hello, I don't know how to, pronounce your name. Well, not pronounce it, but how to address you, because your freaking Discord name is ridiculous.
That's you. She confirmed.
Okay.
My heart dropped as I saw the numbers embedded into my name tag on my suit. It was as if Rainbow Dash was taunting me. Why? Why did that have to be my first assignment?
Hang on.
Not to mention that Dash was taunting me. Why? Why did that
That's
have
fine.
to be my first assignment?
That's fine.
Not to mention that I couldn't clean that machine in this heavy suit. My cover would be blown. Damn it! I cussed through my frustration. What do I do, Absentia? Hey, calm down. She started.
Okay. So we're going to do the same thing. Let's see. Damn it. Is that right here?
Damn it!
Yep. All right. So, soup. Hey, calm down. Okay. So this will all be track 3, basically. Let's see. Yep. All right. 1, 2, 3.
Damn it! I cussed through my frustration. What do I do, Absentia?
Stop, 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 stop. Okay, pull this back.
Damn it! What do I do, Absentia?
Stop.
Damn it! What do I do, Absentia? Hey, calm down.
Okay. Much better.
Calm down. She started, putting her hooves on my shoulders. First, don't panic. Otherwise, you're going to expose yourself to the orchestrators that survey the factory floor. I'll be honest with you, Scoots. There's nothing you can do except obey and watch your back every second you're in that machine. There's only one way.
Up, up, up. Okay, I gotta remember that there, so let's see.
And out of that thing. So you'll need to be absolutely careful and just do your best to get the task done ASAP. However, there's one thing needed to be done before you even think of stepping into that machine. So come here.
Okay.
I raised an eyebrow at the...
Okay, yeah, that does imply something, so... Okay, first things first. Let's get this thingamajig. Yep. 1, 2, 3. And I need to get those air pockets out. So those were like right... Let's see, I gotta find those.
First, don't panic. Otherwise, you're going to expose yourself to the orchestrators that survey the factory floor. I'll be honest with you, Scoots. There's nothing you can do except obey and watch your back every second you're in that machine.
Right there. Okay, so there's air pocket number 1. So right here, I think. Yep. I think I gotta do it like that. Let's see if I just do something like that.
In that machine. There's only one way.
Okay. Now zoom back out. Go back in. Figure out where the
In
next
that
one
machine.
is.
There's only one way in and out of that thing. So you'll need to be absolutely...
Bingo. Alright, get that little annoyance out.
And out of that thing. So you'll need to be absolutely careful and just do your best to get the task done.
Hang on. I hear that. Okay, where are you? Whoa.
Your best to get the task done ASAP.
Okay, it's back a little bit. Can I please just very, very calm?
Your best to get the task done Survey the factory floor.
I can't see jack shit, so I gotta zoom out.
Survey the factory floor. I'll be honest with you, Scoots. There's nothing you can do except obey and watch your back every second you're in that machine. There's only one way in and out of that thing. So you'll need to be absolutely careful and just do your best to get the task done
Right there. Okay, where are you?
Need to be absolutely careful and just...
Right there. Can I even get that? I don't think so. Maybe. Let's see if that might
You need
work.
to be absolutely careful and just do your best to get the task done ASAP.
That sounds better.
However, there's one thing needed to be done before you even think of...
Okay. So however needs to come back a little bit. Much better. Pull that back.
You need to be absolutely careful and just do your best to get the task done ASAP. However, there's one thing needed to be done before you even think of stepping into that machine. So come here.
Okay. Okay, now bring this back. Oh, okay. Glad you could make it.
Stepping into that machine. So come here.
Okay.
I raised an eyebrow at the comment, answering with an appropriate response. What for? I asked.
Okay.
That mane of yours is just...
Alright, so let's start the cut.
I asked. That mane of yours is just asking to get tangled up in those blades. So, I'm going to save you a potentially easy way to die and cut it short enough to where it won't get caught in anything. That was...
Aha. Alright. All this. You might hear some yelling out in the front room because it's NASCAR day, so my parents are huge NASCAR fans, so just bear with me if that happens. Alright.
I asked.
Oh, I gotta go back. Forgot about that. I asked. Okay. Cut that out. What for? About right there, maybe?
What for? That mane of yours is just asking to get tangled up in those blades. So answering with an appropriate response. What for? That mane of yours is just asking to get tangled up in those blades.
That works.
So, I'm going to save you a potentially easy way to die and cut it short enough to where it won't get caught in anything. That wasn't a bad suggestion. It would help with my identity, and Absentia wasn't kidding about my mane. It was long and unkempt after years of no maintenance. Strangely, I had grown in my time in the void as if I'd never stopped living. And unkempt after years of no maintenance. Strangely, I had...
Nope, that needs to go out more.
And unkempt after years of no maintenance. Strangely, I had grown in my time in the void as ever and unkempt after years of no maintenance. Strangely, I had grown in my time in the void and unkempt after years of no maintenance. Strangely, I had grown in my time in the void as if I'd never stopped living.
Hey, Don.
And that had always taken me aback, seeing most say that when you die, you don't age beyond death. But I had aged and grown into an adult mare, so either ponies were wrong about life after death, or the void had properties to it that were beyond my understanding. The sound of Absentia
Okay. I'll have to record that because I actually forgot that that was a thing in this fic. Ahem.
and
Oops.
my understanding. The sound of Absentia impatiently clearing her throat made me come back to reality, deciding not to question her any further, and walking to where she was.
Okay, that's fine.
I planted my flank on the cold floor as she pulled a knife from the drawer next to her small bed that she had outgrown over her years in this place. She lightly lifted and tugged my mane to where it was sturdy enough to cut through with ease, stating only one thing before starting the task.
Okay.
It's not going to be anything pretty, just something good enough to prevent getting caught on anything in that machine, stated Absentia.
Okay.
So, hold still, and don't cry when you see your reflection. I nodded.
Okay, got it. Okay. No, not that. Brain, don't do that, please. Hey, Azzy. Sorry if I'm late to respond. I just gotta be really paying attention here.
And my understanding. The sound of Absentia impatiently clearing her throat made me come back to reality. One thing before starting the task. It's not going to be anything pretty, just something good enough to prevent getting caught on anything in that machine, stated Absentia. So, hold still.
Hold this out. Hold this back.
Just something good enough to prevent getting caught on anything in that machine. So, hold still, and don't cry when you see your reflection.
Okay. Hold this back. About right there, I'd say.
Don't cry when you see your reflection. I nodded, doing... Don't cry when you see your reflection. I nodded, doing my best to keep...
Just a little more.
Don't cry when you see your reflection. I nodded, doing my best to keep my head still and feeling the blade's edge touch the outer strands of my tangled fleece. With accuracy and gentle care, Absentia applied the first cut, the cold still cutting through as if my hair were made of butter, and after meeting the opposite side of my mane, Absentia tossed it into a nearby garbage. The weight upon my head had lowered massively as she worked more toward my neck, cutting it to where it only stood 2 inches off of my neck. So, what's your story, Absentia?
Okay.
I asked, attempting to make conversation.
Okay, that should be there, so just to stay who's talking. Alright, so unique is a simple. There's a lot of talking in this one, so we're going to be making a lot of samples.
So, what's your story, Absentia? I asked, attempting to make conversation. Your story, Absentia? I asked, attempting to make conversation.
Alright.
Nothing important, kid. She answered rather quickly. I didn't accept that. I don't think so. Your story, Absentia.
Oh, it's right there. Okay, so I guess we can just do this kind of thing. Oh, hello there. How you doing? Causing me bloopers all the time. Alright, let's see. 1, 2, 3. Please go away.
A conversation.
Okay, I gotta pull this back a little bit.
A conversation. Nothing important, kid. A conversation. Nothing important, kid. A conversation. Nothing important, kid.
Alright.
Nothing important, kid. She answered rather quickly. Nothing important, kid. She answered rather quickly. I didn't accept that. I don't think so.
Okay, here we go.
I started. Something tells me that you're different from other workers here. Absentia winced at my words, and with that, I knew my assumption.
Okay, stop. Alright, let's see. We need to take out when I say... This is just a very boring process because you're just doing the same thing over and over and over and over. That's why it's nice to have company.
I don't think so.
Okay. Get rid of the middle part.
I don't think so. Something tells me that you're different from other workers. I don't think so. Something tells me that you're different from other workers here. Absentio winced at my words, and with that, I don't think so. Something tells me that you're different from other workers here. Absentio winced at my...
Discord info, Sparrow9642, hashtag 9620, I think.
I don't think so. Something tells me that you're different from other workers here. Absentio winced at my words, and with that, I knew my assumption was correct. What makes you say that? For all you know, I could be pulling a ruse to be waiting for the right moment to kill you. I could slit your neck right here if I wished.
Don't worry about that. It's just being a dick.
I know you won't.
Okay, I gotta figure out where it ends. I know you won't.
Me last night, but you held back, hoping I'd just kill and free you from this place. If you were like the others, you would have taken me to Rainbow Dash and had me thrown into the Pegasus device. Another wins. She hadn't expected me to be so thorough.
Stop. That's gotta go out more. Okay. Okay.
Me last night.
Alright, let's see something. Okay, where am I starting? Right here?
Was correct. What makes you say that? For all you know, was correct. What makes you say that?
That's good.
For all you know, I could be pulling a ruse and be waiting for the right moment to kill you. I could slit your neck right here if I wished. I know you won't, because I know very well that you could have easily overpowered me last night. But you held back, hoping I'd just kill and free you from this place. If you were like the others, you would have taken me to Rainbow Dash and had me thrown into the Pegasus device. Another wins. She hadn't expected me to be so thorough, and that was enough to break through the mask she wore to avoid looking weak in Rainbow Dash's eyes. I'd managed to break through her true self that existed before the horrors of the Rainbow Factory had corrupted her mind and personality. I'll give you one thing, Scoots. You are excellent at reading ponies. You're right. I did hold back last night in hopes of you breaking my neck or suffocating me into the bliss that is death. I've wanted death to greet me ever since I became Rainbow Dash's second in command, having to do things that I could never forgive myself for. I never dreamed of becoming an elite flyer, but my parents forced me to. I was doomed from the moment I signed the document that admitted me into the flight academy. I was never good at flying and wanted to actually become a model for magazines, because where I failed in flying, I made up in beauty. Believe it or not, my mane used to be full of long curls, and I was admired by most Pegasi as a fashion icon. I had caught the eye of a very well-known company in the fashion industry, and had even landed a spot as a model, up until my parents got in the way and ruined it all. I was sent to flight camp before I could even have a chance at my dreams, and as soon as I failed, was taken here to be grinded into Spectra. Hope the bastards are proud now. A ping of anger and sorrow pierced my heart.
Just ignore that. Guys, it's normal. It's just my program saying, hey, this computer isn't strong enough. Well, bullshit. I've made multiple projects on this, so just shut up. Alright, make it simple. I think I'm going to take out that second in absenteeist part. Mainly because it's not necessary and it's kind of repetitive. Alright.
Was correct. What makes you say that? For all you know, I could be pulling a root. You're right. I did hold back last night. You are excellent at reading ponies.
Stop. Stop!
Personality. I'll give you one personality. I'll give you one thing, Scoots. You are excellent at reading ponies.
Okay. Second side right here. I can already tell what's going to be playing under this. It's going to be something like On the Chain or something like that.
You're excellent at reading ponies. You're right. I did hold back last night in hopes of you breaking my neck or suffocating me into the bliss that is death. I've wanted death to greet me ever since I became Rainbow Dash's second in command, having to do things that I could never forgive myself for. I never dreamed of becoming an elite flyer, but my parents forced me to. I was doomed from the moment I signed the document that admitted me into the flight academy. I was never good at flying and wanted to actually become a model for magazines, because where I failed in flying, I made up in beauty. Believe it or not, my main use...
Okay, take that out. Little air pocket.
I made up in beauty. Believe it or not, my mane used to be full of long curls, and I was admired. I made up in beauty. Believe it or not, my mane used to be full of long curls, and I was admired by most Pegasi as a fashion icon. I had caught the eye of a very well-known company in the fashion industry, and had even landed a spot as a model, up until my parents got in the way and ruined it all. I was sent to flight camp before I could even have a chance at my dreams, and as soon as I failed, was taken here to be grinded into Spectra. Hope the bastards are proud now. Anger and sorrow pierced my proud now. A ping of anger and sorrow pierced my heart. Absentea's dreams had been taken from her out of selfishness and pride, only to be replaced with assured death. However, the fact that she was alive rendered that ending impossible, so that led to my next question. What did you have to do to get on Rainbow Dash's good side? Question.
Pull that back some more.
Question. What did you have to do to get on Rainbow Dash's good side?
Okay.
Absentea's side, continuing to cut further.
Alright. So that implies an action, so I can actually just take that out, push this out. Okay. No.
What did you have to do to get on Rainbow Dash's good side? Continuing to get on Rainbow Dash's good side. Absentea's side. Continue to get on Rainbow Dash's good side. Absentea's side. Continuing to cut further up my neck. Things that I regret. When I was admitted with another Pegasi that gave me shit on a daily basis. I was confused and lost, and had no idea what to do, what to think in the darkness of the factory. During the first night, The effects of the factory plagued my mind, and I decided to get some much-needed revenge. The asshole that had treated me like shit all my years in flight camp was at his most vulnerable, so I took my opportunity and beat him to a pulp. He begged for my forgiveness, but he didn't deserve it, so I killed the ungrateful bastard. Absentia's voice was cold and bitter, with a hint of sorrow and grief. The sound of her words made my ears twitch.
Stop. If I remember correct, I think I put like sounds underneath that or something. It's been a long time. Shit. 1, 2, 3.
Get on Rainbow Dash's good side. Absentia sighed, continuing to cut further up my neck. Things that I regret. When I was admitted with another killed the ungrateful bastard. Was cold and bastard. Absentia's voice was cold bastard. Absentia's voice was cold and bitter, with a hint of sorrow and grief. The sound of her words made my ears twitch, along with the sound of her blade slicing through my mane. I shivered as Absentia continued her story that I had asked for. After he was dead for sure, I had expected to feel happy or satisfied. I didn't feel like either of those things, and instead felt sad, horrible,
Excuse me.
and looked at myself as a monster. I had killed one of my own fellow Pegasi, and despite all he had done to me, I felt terrible. If anything, I was no better than Rainbow Dash. It became clear the next morning when Dash came to the containment room and saw what I had done. Blood was everywhere, and I was covered with it. Dash took it as an opportunity and made me into a factory worker on the spot. I'll never forget that devilish smile and stare. She had just laughed and applauded me for my actions, and after the fact, had patted me on the head and said only 2 things. You may be...
Okay. So that's going to have an effect on it, so we need to cut this right here. Okay, unique as a sample, please. Thank you.
Bastard. Absentia's voice was cold and bitter, with a hint of sorrow and grief. The sound of her words made my ears twitch, along with the sound of her blade slicing through my mane. I shivered as Absentia continued her story that I had asked for. After he was dead for sure, I had expected to feel happy or satisfied. I didn't feel like either of those things, and instead felt sad, horrible, and looked at myself as a monster. I had killed one of my own fellow Pegasi, and despite all he had done to me, I felt terrible. If anything, I was no better than Rainbow Dash. It became clear the next morning when Dash came to the containment room and saw what I had done. Blood was everywhere, and I was covered with it. Dash took it as an opportunity and made me into a factory worker on the spot. I'll never forget that devilish smile and stare. She had just laughed and applauded me for my actions, and after the fact, had patted me on the head and said only 2 things. You may be worthless to all Pegasi as a flyer, but it's clear you have use to me in another way. Welcome to the weather factory, worker.
Okay.
I couldn't believe
Alright. I couldn't believe. Is that Rainbow Dash or is that Absentia? I can't remember. I probably actually could have just put it on the same setting. Come on. Stop it. You piece of shit. Thank you. Is that fine?
Bastard. You may be worthless to Alpegasai as a flyer, but it's clear you have use to me in another way.
Nope, don't like it. Alright, so we're gonna put that on a different track. We're gonna give that just a teensy little bit more of reverb. Reverb. Come on. You can do it, computer. I believe in you. Do I really, though? Okay, about 10% should do the trick.
You may be worthless to Alpegasai as a flyer, but it's clear you have use to me in another way. Welcome to the weather factory, worker. You may be worthless to Alpegasai as a flyer, but it's clear you have use to me in another way.
Don't like that preset. Let's go with the default.
You may be worthless to Alpegasai as a flyer, but it's clear you have use to me in another way. Welcome to the weather factory, worker. You may be worthless to Alpegasai as a flyer, but it's clear you have use to me in another way. Welcome to the weather factory, worker.
That'll work.
I couldn't believe I was still alive, and I...
Okay. So that means we've got to push out the next part where it comes out. Like that. Okay, when do you shut up?
Weather factory, worker. I couldn't believe I was still alive, and I've been weather factory, worker. I couldn't believe I was still alive, and I had only been relieved that I had been given another chance. However, not long after, I had wished that Dash had killed me that day. I had been forced to end others' lives over simple mistakes that hadn't even affected the fact.
Ah, shit. No. I gotta do this first.
I had been forced to end others' lives over simple mistakes that hadn't even affected the factory or its process in committing murder to produce artificial rainbows. However, that's not what Dash thought, and had tasked me with smashing their skulls against the ground until their brains littered the floor. The sounds of their final moments still echo in my mind, and their faces haunt my dreams. I have never lost count of how many I killed, and will never forgive myself for letting my fear and hope for survival result in the gruesome end of 17 ponies that were no different than me. Pink Diamond.
Oh, god damn it. I did it again. Ray. It's okay. I can just do it again. It's no big deal. Okay. I forget about it. Fuck me. Alright. Yep. Alright.
Teen ponies that were no different than me. Pink Diamond.
Okay, so there was something that I wanted to cut first. Where is it? Right here?
I had been...
Yep. Because I gotta back it up a little bit. whoa, 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 whoa. Not that close. Not that close.
Dash had killed me that day. I had been forced to end others' lives over simple mistakes that hadn't even affected the factory or its process in committing murder to produce artificial rainbows. However, that's not what Dash thought, and had tasked me with smashing their skulls against the ground until their brains littered the floor. The sounds of their final moments still echo in my mind, and their faces haunt my dreams. I have never lost count of how many I killed, and will never forgive myself for letting my fear and hope for survival result in the gruesome end of 17 ponies that were no different than me. Pink Diamond, Minty Fresh, Stormy Cloud, Windy Trail, Blue Skies, Ember, Lightning Flash, Starry Night, Sunny Day, Dazzle Flash, Shining Star, Snowflake, Rocky Twister, Silverwing, Twinkle Star, Ivy Rain, and Starry Breeze. Their lives all taken in gruesome manners by my own hooves. It wasn't until 7 years after the day I killed my worst enemy that I was finally promoted and freed of my role as an executioner to Pegasi who didn't meet Dash's standards. I was beyond relieved, up until I had learned why, and to avoid ending up like him and the filly that had joined him in their escape attempt, I just buried the old me and learned to just follow the rules and play along. Her story nearly brought tears to my eyes.
Stop. Excuse me. Need to double check that as well. Okay, let's see. We need 1, 2, 3.
Dash had killed me that day. I had been forced to end others' lives over simple mistakes that hadn't even affected the factory or its process in committing murder to produce artificial rainbows. However, that's not what Dash thought, and no different than me. Pink Diamond, Minty Fresh, Stormy Cloud, Windy Trail, Blue Skies, Ember, Lightning Flash, Starry Night, Sunny Day, Dazzle Flash, Shining Star, Snowflake, Rocky Twister, Silverwing, Twinkle Star, Ivy Rain, and Starry Breeze. Their lives all taken in gruesome manners by my own hooves. It wasn't until 7 years after the day I killed my worst enemy that I was finally promoted and freed of my role as an executioner to Pegasi who didn't meet Dash's standards. I was beyond relieved, up until I had learned why, and to avoid ending up like him and the filly that had joined him in their escape attempt, I just buried the old me and learned to just follow the rules and play along. Her story nearly brought tears to my eyes, realizing that if any pony wanted to get on Rainbow Dash's good side, they'd have to do something so morbid that it would cause the pony to become some pony they weren't. Luckily for me, I planned to do it another way, unless an opportunity was given. I will kill the bitch, along with this factory.
Okay.
How long have you been here? I asked. 20 years, kid. She replied. Long enough for me to forget my birth name, become a hollow shell of nothing but pain and trauma, and devoid of any sort of feeling or emotion. Something no pony would ever want to become unless their life depended on it. I could only imagine.
Okay. Okay, let's see. We need to. One, two, three. Okay, now I need to figure out where that cut is.
How long have you been here? I asked. 20 years, kid. She replied. Long enough for me to forget. Come on. How long have you been here? 20 years, kid. She replied. Long enough for me to forget my birth name? "20 years, kid. Long enough for me to forget my birth name, become a hollow shell of nothing but pain and trauma, and devoid of any sort of feeling or emotion. Something no pony would ever want to become unless their life depended on it." I could only imagine Absentia's pain. She had been here for 20 years. 20 long years of murder and nightmares. I had been dead for countless years before I was reborn into this living hell. Only this time, things were going to be different.
Ow.
Absentia had finished the haircut, to where my mane was only 2 inches off my neck and head. An easy buzz cut to where I looked just like Absentia. My neck and head.
Okay, that could be brought back a little bit. Boink, boink, boink.
My neck and head.
No, not that close.
My neck and head. An easy buzz cut to where I look. My neck and head. An easy buzz cut to where I looked just like Absentia. 2 inches off my neck and head. An easy buzz cut to where I looked just like Absentia.
Okay.
There. Now you look like the rest of the workers and are safe from any potential danger while inside that death machine, said Absentia. Out of the silence of the...
Okay. Making it simple. Did I put an end part? I think I did, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, I did. Good.
There. Now you look like the rest of the workers and are safe from any potential danger while inside that death machine, said Absentia. Out of the silence of the room, the intercom erupted once more with the sound machine, said Absentia. Machine, said Absentia.
That's good.
Out of the silence of the room, the intercom erupted once more with the sound of...
Okay, pull this back again.
Machine, said Absentia. Out of the silence of the room, the intercom erupted one machine, said Absentia. Out of the silence of the room, the intercom erupted once more with the sound of Rainbow Dash's cold voice. Worker floor, commanded Rainbow Dash.
Okay. Alright. Make unique as a sample. That's on 2, right?
Floor.
Yep.
Worker 067138. Report to the factory floor.
Commanded Rainbow Dash.
Okay, we all know who that is.
factory floor.
Absentia gave me a look of severity.
The factory floor.
Absentia gave me a look of severity.
Oh, gosh.
Best go before she comes looking for you, she stated. Her and her security squad. I nodded my head as I turned to leave.
Stop. Because it's simple. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now I can get rid of that one in the middle.
Comes looking for you. Her and her security squad. Comes looking for you. Her and her security squad.
There we go.
Comes looking for you. Her and her security squad. I nodded my head as I turned to leave up until I was stopped by Absentia. Security squad. I nodded my head as I turned to leave up until I was stopped by Absentia. Oh, almost forgot, said Absentia, grabbing something from her nearby makeshift closet that was nothing more than a hole.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Absentia. Oh, almost forgot, said Absentia, grabbing something from her nearby makeshift closet that was nothing more than a hole in the wall. You might want to put this on. Absentia more than a hole in the wall. You might want to put this on. Absentia
Hold this back. Because it's simple. One, 2, 3. Oh, Jesus Christ.
more than a hole in the wall. You might want to put this on. More than a hole in the wall. You might want to put this on. Absentia tossed a black rubber suit toward me, which I recognized as more than a hole in the wall. You might want to put this on. Absentia tossed a black rubber suit toward me, which I recognized as the same one she wore. I didn't question her and quickly slipped on the flexible rubber suit. It was surprisingly comfortable and fit me perfectly. Once the uniform was on, Absentia handed me a small button, one that had the label of the weather factory on it. You'll need that, or Dash will be all over you. Need that, or Dash will be all over you, stated Absentia. I stuck the small button on the suit, feeling a sick need that.
Okay. Come on.
Need that.
One, 2, 3.
Need that, or Dash will be all over you, stated Absentia.
We can just take that out.
Need that, or Dash will be all over you. I stuck the small button on the suit, feeling a sick feeling come over me. I looked, just need that, or Dash will be all over you. I stuck the small button on the suit, feeling a sick feeling come over me. I looked just like one of the factory workers. A fact that I refused to accept, seeing I was only wearing it temporarily. It was the only way I could stay out of Rainbow Dash's sights.
Okay.
Good luck, Scouts. You'll need it.
Alright. Grab that. Hold this back a lot. Alright.
You'll need it. I nodded my...
Okay, get rid of that little air bubble. Swink. Weird. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Good luck, Scouts. You'll need it.
Gonna pull that back a little bit more.
Good luck, Scouts. You'll need it.
Better. Much better.
Good luck, Scouts. You'll need it. Good luck, Scouts. You'll need it. I nodded my head as I turned to exit the room and make my way to the factory floor, but was stopped shortly by Absentia yet again. Hey, kid. Hey, kid. She called out. Hey, kid. She called out, to which I turned to look back at her. Yeah? Thanks for the chat. I smiled and nodded my head before turning to the door and exiting to the factory.
Okay. Oops, not there, not there, not there. Okay.
Back at her. Yeah? Thanks for the chat. Back at her. Yeah? Thanks for the chat. I smiled back at her. Yeah? Thanks for the chat. Back at her. Yeah? Thanks for the chat. I smiled and nodded my head before turning to the door. Back at her. Yeah? Thanks for the chat.
A little bit more.
Back at her. Yeah? Thanks for the chat.
That work.
Back at her. Yeah? Thanks for the chat. I smiled and nodded my head before turning to the door and exiting to the factory.
Okay. Now we gotta pause here. So.
Through the night, Absentia had given me some pointers on how to get to the factory floor without an elevator, due to her being here for 20 years and gaining access to the places that most of the workers don't know of. Rainbow Dash and Absentia must be close to know of all the secret passageways within the factory. There was secret halls, staircases, and even simple tricks to get past the scanners on the doors. Tricks I needed to know if I planned to survive here. As I walked across the skywalk, I passed other factory workers, each of them looking at me with looks of curiosity. All of them were orchestrators, due to their outfits being just like mine. Each of them wearing their own share of scars, and mains cut just like mine.
Oh, hang on.
Them wearing their own share of scars.
That needs to come back.
Them wearing their own share of scars, and mains cut just like mine. Absentia wasn't kidding when she said I would look just like every factory worker. But even though I looked like the workers, I was far from safe. I was scared to death because them wearing. Absentia wasn't kidding when she said I would look just like every factory worker. But even though I looked like the workers, I was far from safe. I was scared to death because one wrong move is all it would take to earn a one-way trip through the Pegasus device. So I had to be on alert at all times. At the end of the skywalk, I was accompanied by a familiar face. There stood the Cyan Pegasus with her rainbow mane and rosy pink eyes. There stood Rainbow Dash, the mare I despised with all of my being. She was winged by 2 other guard ponies, holding 2 electric spears, meaning I couldn't attack. Not now. My anger rose on the inside as I stood less than 2 feet from her. I rose a hoof to my forehead as she examined me from head to hoof, giving me a look that spoke pure death. You're late.
Alright. Let's pull this back just a little bit. I'm going to have to do this regardless.
Pure death. You're late, stated Rainbow Dash with an annoyed sigh. Pure death. You're late. Pure death. You're late, stated Rainbow. Pure death. You're late, stated Rainbow Dash with an annoyed sigh. I'll let this.
Alright. So I gotta pull this out. And I got to. Do I want a different effect here? Probably, because it's in a more wide open area. So we have a 4th, so what about 5? So it's a reverb, but it's a little bit of a bigger reverb because it's wide open. Come on. 10%.
Pure death. You're late.
Oh, Jesus Christ, no. Okay, we definitely do not want that.
Pure death. You're late. State.
I'd have to put some ambience in there to see how it would amount. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add a different track. We're gonna put that on 6. That's simple. So that'd be under probably the USB drive. That'd be in my YouTube folder. Let's see. Then we just have to look up factory. Alarm sound, factory sounds. Okay. Turn this down a lot. Okay, let's see what this sounds like.
Pure death. You're late. Pure death. You're late, stated Rainbow Dash with an...
Okay. So I think that the reverb can actually be a little bit more stronger than that.
Pure death. You're late, stated Rainbow Dash with an annoyed sigh.
That's fine. That seems okay. So without the noise...
Pure death. You're late, stated Rainbow Dash with an annoyed sigh. I'll let this miss... Pure death. You're late, stated Rainbow Dash with an annoyed sigh. I'll let this mishap slip for now, but I expect better manners from now on, worker. The little amount of sense that I had left were the only thing keeping...
Alright. Sample. We're already to 30 tracks. Oh dear God almighty. Let's see, where are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Pure death. You're late, stated Rainbow Dash with an annoyed sigh. I'll let this mishap slip for now, but I expect better manners from now on, worker. The little amount of sense that I had left were the only thing keeping me from launching forward. As I swallowed my pride, now on, worker. The little amount of sense that I had left were the only thing keeping me from launching forward, as I swallowed my pride in response. Yes, ma'am, I spoke, swallowing the small amount of vomit I had.
Okay. Oops, not there.
Yes, ma'am, I spoke, swallowing the I swallowed my pride in response. Yes, I swallowed my pride in response. Yes, ma'am, I swallowed my pride in response. Yes, ma'am, I spoke, swallowing the small amount I had in my mouth. She didn't say anything, only moved her head closer to mine, looking at me closely. I had in my mouth. She didn't say anything, only moved her head closer to mine, looking at me closely.
Okay, I need to... Oops.
I had in my mouth. She didn't say anything, only moved her head closer to mine, looking at me closely. I noticed a nasty scar just visible on her forehead, which I figured was from the anonymous Pegasus that stated he had left a nasty impression on her head during his escape attempt. It had even anonymous Pegasus that stated he had left a nasty impression on her head during his escape attempt. It had even left a dent in her skull, changing Rainbow Dash's appearance as the once bold Pegasus she used to be, and instead showing her more as the monster she really was. Her sudden observation toward me made me feel uncomfortable, and only grew more uncomfortable as she raised her right hoof toward my head. I expected Miss Pegasus she really was. Her sudden observation toward me made me feel uncomfortable, and only grew more uncomfortable as she raised her right hoof toward my head.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I expected her to do something, but all she did hoof toward my head. I expected her to do something, but all she did was gently brush her hoof against my mane, watching small bits of loose strands of my freshly cut mane fall to the floor. Hygiene, she said to me, Work.
Okay. Hold this back just a little bit. Okay. Now I need to...
Work on it. I won't deal with shedding around my factory. Will do, ma'am. I replied.
Okay. Okay, make a simple. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if that might work.
Hygiene, she said to me. Work on it. I won't deal with shedding around my factory. Will do, ma'am. I replied.
Oh, did I accidentally miss it? Oops. Oh, well, it's okay. We'll fix it here in just a second. Yep. Oh, shit. One, two, three, four, 5.
Work on it. Hygiene. Work on it. I won't deal with shedding around factory. Hygiene. Work on it. I won't deal with shedding around my factory. Will do, ma'am. I replied. Factory. Will do, ma'am. I replied, continuing to hold my... Will do, ma'am. I replied, continuing to hold my breath. Good. Now, let me show you to your station, she said, turning from me and placing her hoof against the scanner of the elevator.
Stop. Yeah, a lot of talking. Shit.
Good. Now, let me show you to your station, she said, turning from me and placing her hoof. Good. Now, let me show you to your station, she said, turning from me and placing her hoof against the scanner of the elevator. I followed her as the elevator doors slid open, and I, along with the rest of the party of murderous Pegasi, entered the small... The entire time I stood against the scanner of the elevator. I followed her as the elevator doors slid open, and I, along with the rest of the party of murderous Pegasi, entered the small space. The entire time I stood in the elevator, I had to hold back the urge to attack, but I knew what the outcome would be if I attacked. If I was going to get Rainbow Dash, I had to wait until she wasn't guarded. I had to play my cards right, and right now was not the time to play the ace. I just have to wait and stay out of trouble. If only it were that easy. The elevator came to a stop on the factory floor, where I could see the Pegasus device in full light of the fluorescent lights that hung from the rafters. The giant grinding machine was silent, and I was about to enter its blades. My heart skipped a beat as Rainbow Dash approached the bottom of the machine, a small slot leading to the inside of the device open, and a long hose off to the side of the opening. Your job is simple, said Rainbow Dash. You just have to use this hose to spray the blades, but not just the bottom blades, all the blades. I want this thing spotless. Not a single speck of remains from the last run better be visible when I check back, worker. Or there will be consequences. Got it? Yes, ma'am, I replied. Good. Now, get to work, she commanded, handing me the hose. Rainbow Dash turned from me as I...
Okay. So, right there. So we can just turn all this into a conversation. Okay, is this where it
Your
starts?
job.
Yep. If you're wondering why she sounds like a bitch, it's because she is a bitch. Rainbow Factory Dash is not a nice person. She's evil. So, yeah, she's not meant to be nice. She's meant to be constantly, like, pissed at the world. She doesn't deal with arrogance very lightly.
Your job is simple, said Rainbow Dash. You just have to use this hose to spray the blades, but not just the bottom blades, all the blades. Not a single. Your job is simple. You just have to use this hose to spray the blades, but not just the bottom blades, all the blades. I want this thing spotless. Not a single speck of remains from the last run better be visible when I check back, worker. Or there will be consequences. Got it?
Yes, ma'am.
I replied. Good. Now get to work, she commanded.
Yes, ma'am.
Good. Now get to work.
Whoops. Yes, ma'am.
Good. Now get to work, commanded, handing me the hose. Get to work, she commanded, handing me the hose. Rainbow Dash turned from me as I held the hose in my hooves. My anger level was at its peak, but I kept myself calm. Held the hose in my hooves. My anger level was at its peak, but I kept myself calm. Now was not the time to strike. I would just have to cooperate for now and stay out of trouble. Water on, commanded Rainbow Dash as I noticed a worker on the far.
Okay, so... Yep. Oh god, brain's falling asleep. Not a good sign. We're gonna break the dialogue here pretty quickly, so that's a good sign for my brain.
Water on, commanded Rainbow Dash as I noticed a worker on the far. Water on, commanded Rainbow Dash as I noticed a worker on the far side of the room turn a water valve, immediately following a high pressure within the hose. Water instantly burst out of the end, nearly causing me to lose my grip, but I somehow managed to hold on. Remember, not a single speck, worker, stated Rainbow Dash as she walked out of sight. Once she was gone, I immediately turned to the inside of...
Okay, stop. Push this out. Can you get so simple? Yep.
But I somehow managed to hold on. Remember, not a single speck, worker.
Okay, stop for a minute. How about that? Will that work?
Worker, stated Rainbow Dash as she walked out of sight. Once she was gone, I immediately turned to the inside of the machine and started to clean the blades. The sharp, elongated daggers were coated with dry blood, chunks of rotting flesh, and some clumps of meat that hadn't cycled through. The bottom section of the machine was coated with bone and teeth fragments, several fur fragments that were a plethora of colors, and blood stains along the walls of the interior that had been the result of the deaf device's last meal. The area reeked of the smell of lead and death, nearly causing me to vomit, but I powered through the overwhelming
Okay. Push that back just a little bit.
device's last meal. The area reeked of the smell of lead and death, nearly causing me to vomit, but I powered through the overwhelming stench somehow. remembering Absentia's words clearly. I did my best to just blank out the smell and decided to start with the bottom of the machine, seeing it was easily the most accessible section of the inside thorough cleaning job. Absentia's words clearly. I did my best to just blank out the smell and decided to start with the bottom of the machine, seeing it was easily the most accessible section of the inside for a much thorough cleaning job. I aimed the hose at the steel walls and washed away all of the blood that had stained them. It didn't take much effort, the high pressure of the water stream making quick work of the stains as I did a 360 to be sure I got every bit of the crimson litter. After a good 5 minutes, the entire bottom was as clean as it could get, so I moved to the upper section, aiming the water stream at the stained blades above me. Once again, the high pressure made quick work of the clutter, releasing their hold on the steel with just one hit of the raging water. Upon contact, the blades spun as well, making my job easier and faster. I kept the hose aimed at the spinning blades while making sure to wash every inch of the blades as well, knowing that Rainbow Dash hadn't been lying about anything she'd said prior to entering the machine. I had to be absolutely sure I got every inch and groove of the massive metallic teeth spotless. Otherwise, I'd become the next meal for the Pegasus device. I just kept repeating those words in my mind as I continued to spray the blades clean of the debris left by whoever had last met their end through this machine, up until something broke my concentration. A deafening roar pierced my eardrums as I lost my grip on the hose, the metal floor beneath me beginning to rumble at the magnitude of a massive earthquake. The machine had been awoken with me inside of it. My worst fear had become reality. I immediately abandoned my task and turned toward the exit, only to find that it was shut tight and the hose was still spraying out and filling the lower floor of the machine with water at an alarming rate. I was trapped. My heart sunk at the realization of the situation as I scrambled to find any solution. The roar of the inside of the machine made it hard to think straight, but I knew I had to act fast, so I pulled my thoughts together amongst the chaos and formulated my options of escape. I couldn't go up without being grinded to pulp, so waiting for the water to raise me up wasn't an option, and I couldn't open the only escape door because it was locked. My only literal option was to either yell and hope some pony would hear me from among the sound of the Pegasus device's roaring engine, or I'd have to hope that the hinges of the door were as fragile as glass. The water level was rising quick, so with all of my strength, I took a deep breath and bucked both of my back hooves against the door, hoping that the hinges would shatter upon contact. As expected, the door remained shut and didn't budge an inch, immediately causing me to enter panic mode.
Okay. Help! Alright, so this wouldn't be like echoey. It's the inside of like a metallic machine. So it'd be more closer to like probably 5 probably works perfect. Oops, I need to make it a sample first.
Sentia's word.
Oh. Help!
I yelled, praying for some pony to hear me from a panic mode.
Help!
I yelled, praying for some pony to hear me from a
Okay, let me see something.
panic mode.
Help! Yeah, that's about what you would expect.
Panic mode.
Help!
I yelled, praying for some from among the deafening rumble.
Help!
I yelled, praying for some pony to hear me to help! I yelled, praying for some pony to hear me from among the deafening rumbling of the machine. As expected, no pony could hear me, and to make matters worse, the water was already to my upper torso. My time was running out. Help!
Alright. Unique is a simple.
Help! I yelled, praying for some pony to hear me from among the deafening rumbling of the machine running out. Help! I continued to buck my hooves against the door, the water making it hard to exert any sort of force against the door. The water level was at my neck now, and my heart was racing at a rapid pace. I didn't have any other options except death. I couldn't budge the door, and I couldn't go up. I was dead. I had failed again. The water was now just past my muzzle as I took my final breath of life and dunked myself underneath the water. Underneath the water, I searched for any sort of alternative that could save me as a last-ditch effort, but only one option came to me in the murky water, and I doubted that it would even work. The water pressure from the hose might be enough to force open the door, or was I just wishful thinking now? Seeing my options were not the best, I decided to try it, quickly grabbing the hose from the floor of the machine and aiming the nozzle at the door, praying for my efforts to be rewarded with freedom. However, fate taunted me, and the door remained stiff and strong. I was dead. Despite my efforts, my second chance at life had been cut shorter than my original life in Ponyville. I dropped the hose as my lungs began to collapse from the lack of oxygen in the cold and murky water. In my final moments, the burning sensation in my chest turned into serenity in the dim light of my second grave. My body began to turn numb as I saw my life flash before my eyes for the second time, and in my defeat, I spoke my last humiliating words. Congratulations, Rainbow Dash. You win again.
Okay. So, in the mind, it wouldn't have like a grunt. It'd just be like straightforward. So this would be somewhere in the neighborhood of the Rainbow Dash one. I don't remember which one it was. Was it 4?
Running out.
Oh.
Congratulations.
Yep, that's it.
Humiliating words. Congratulations, Rainbow Dash. You win again. With that final statement, I took my last breath. Feeling the cold liquid surrounding me turned my chest into ice. My sight became blurry and lifeless, falling into a deep darkness. Cruel twist of fate. With that final statement, I took my last breath. Feeling the cold liquid surrounding me turned my chest into ice. My sight became blurry and lifeless, falling into a deep darkness, and in a cruel twist of fate, the Pegasus device had killed me once again.
Okay. This next part is a little tricky because this is going to have like a special effect to it. So, yeah, this is going to be kind of different. So, I feel like what I'm going to do here is something like this. this is going to have a whole different kind of effect to it. Let's see, we're on 6, right? Yeah, 6. So you have to go to 7. I believe 7 is the one where we're at. Pretty sure it is. 7. Yep, adds nothing. Alright, so let's see. What would that be? That'd have reverb on it, and it would have a delay. So it'd be a low reverb. Actually, no, the reverb would be high.
With that final...
Oh, for fuck's sake. I always do that. Why?
Come on, kid!
Okay. So what I gotta do here is something like... delay. Let's see. What is this preset? Trying to remember. Wasn't it this one?
Come on, kid!
Okay, now I gotta remember how this goes. Set. It's not that one. Classic ping pong? The offset has to be more down. Something like that.
Come on, kid!
Okay, so it has to be kind of out.
Come on, kid!
Normal.
Come on, kid!
Trying to remember how I did this. Is this not the preset? Apparently not. Three echoes.
Come on, kid!
I'm trying to think of how I do this effect. It's been a while since I've actually done this. Brighter echoes, maybe? Reverb needs to be louder. I know that for a fact.
Come on, kid! Come on, Come on, kid!
Okay. So it has to be like, how do I explain this? Maybe not something like... I don't know how I do these.
Come on, kid!
Jesus, don't do that to me. I gotta remember how I did that one, like that Sweetie Belle effect in Cheating Dawn. Let me listen to it one more time. When in doubt, go back to your roots. Go back to where you actually used it and figure it out. It's been a while, so... I know it's not a hard thing to do. It's just a little bit tricky to kind of adjust. I remember I had trouble with it. It was fucking a pain in the ass. Alright, so I have to go to Breaking Dawn. Or not Breaking Dawn, Cheating Dawn. That's Twilight Sparrow. Cheating Dawn. MLP. Whoopsies. Okay, so I gotta figure out how I did this effect.
Hey, let's go somewhere fun. Let's see where AAA can take us. Let's go.
How about no? Okay, now I gotta figure out where it is. Okay, it's not there. Just back a little bit more. Right there. Right there.
Would be a short sleep. Closer. Closer. Closer.
Hang on, hang on. I need my volume mixer to be up. Volume mixer. Give me just a second. I saw your message. I just need to be focusing on something else right now.
Black met his vision.
Higher than that.
And in less than mere seconds, he was gone.
Okay, it's muffled. Okay, I know what I gotta do for that. I gotta adjust the EQ for that. So, So it's low, for one thing. The volume's low. Okay, so this is gonna be a pain in the ass, isn't it? Yeah, it's gonna be a pain in the ass, as usual. I have no idea how to even say that name. Is Genshin Impact any good as a game? How do I explain this? It's basically, it's a game that requires a lot of time and a lot of like attention. Well, not attention, but it requires a lot of grind in order to like play it, especially if you plan to go free to play, because the game has a system where it's designed to keep you playing, but it can be a drag if you don't have patience. Altogether, the story's fantastic. How do I explain it? You can beat the game without ever spending a dime. It is possible. You just have to kind of put a plan together. If you plan like to pull for a certain character, there's a pity system where around 76, 80-ish, you will be guaranteed a 5-star. The 50-50 system is just bullshit in my opinion. But as long as you have self-control and can save and like do your dailies every single day, you get 60 primo gems every day. I think that's when you hit AR 10, if I'm not mistaken, something like that. But yeah, the game is really fun and you don't have to rush. That's one of my biggest tips, is don't rush. It is a very, very like easy game to get used to, or not used to. It's very, what's the word? Like, you don't have to rush. If you rush, you're not gonna have fun. You don't, like, it may seem like getting to AR 50 as fast as you can is a good move. It's not. Trust me. Especially right now, because the game is in like a lull, like a drag. Because Fontaine is coming out in 3 days. So it's been kind of lacking content as of late. But yeah, Genshin is playable. It's actually a really fun game. But you just gotta have control. You gotta have an idea of what you're doing, like how to, save if you're going to plan for a character. Like if a character that I will guarantee anybody on any account, no matter what, is perfect for you. Raiden Shogun. That character will not disappoint you. She's not only very easy to build, she's also just a solid DPS unit. And with Dendro, she is even easier to build because you can build EM Raiden and basically kill anything. Like Hyper Bloom is like the meta right now. All you need is a Dendro character, a Hydro character, and an Electro character. That is it. And you get all those for free when you play the game. So if you have a lot of time on your hands and you don't mind, logging in like for 10 minutes every day to do your dailies, yeah, Genshin is a good game. Solid story, solid characters, like solid, like very stunning, like aesthetics and all that stuff. The open world is fantastic. Yeah, I will oblige for the game. It is 100% playable without spending a dime. Have you seen? No, I've heard bad things about it. Like, as far as like how the gacha system works. Okay, so now I've got to somehow make this work. So first things first. Where is this? That's on 7. I need to give it an EQ. I gotta muffle it. I also need to lower it. So I actually need to move all these down. Put down. Let's see. We need EQ. And we need to muffle it as much as we possibly can. So the bass has to be up and the high ends need to be down. Oh, there's the washer. Your clothes are done. Genshin is a fair game, and it's actually very easy to play right now, especially with the Hyperbloom stuff. Like, a lot of people think you have to pay to play this game. No, you just have to be smart. Alright, so we need to give it as much bass as we possibly can, lower the high ends as much as we possibly can as well. Something like that. Not sure.
Come on, kid.
Okay, we've almost got it. If I remember correct. Didn't I have to do like 2 EQs to get the bass correct?
Come on, kid.
Okay. We're almost there. Like, that's almost right on the dot.
Come on, kid.
Alright. I need to adjust the delay, though. So it has to actually be tighter. Let's see. We need something like... something like that.
Come on, kid.
No, too fast.
Come on, kid.
Yeah, too fast.
Spoke a distant voice as my...
Come on, kid.
This ain't the right setting. I want to say it's something to do with echoes. I seriously think I was on the right one, I just didn't have the right setting. This one.
Come on, kid.
It's almost right on the dot.
Come on, kid.
Oh, shit.
Come on, kid. Come on, kid.
Spoke a distant voice.
Come on, kid.
It's hard to freaking get right on the dot. Was it not this one? Maybe it was this one. I barely ever use this feature, and that's why I'm struggling so bad.
Come on, kid.
That's the offset. What does this do?
Come on, kid.
I can't hear anything. Like, no difference whatsoever.
Come on, kid.
No. Don't hear anything. Oh my god, where is it? 3 echoes. I want to say this is it. Either that or classic ping pong. One of the two.
Come on, kid.
Today, hello.
Come on, kid.
Oh, hang on. Ah, I remember. The delay has to be turned down a lot.
Come on, kid.
Yeah, yep. There it is.
Spoke a distant voice as
Stop. So it was like, what, 2.3 or something like that?
Come on, kid.
Has to be a little bit
spoke
more
a distant
tighter.
voice as my eyes slowly opened. The voice was familiar.
Come on, kid.
That's too tight. Okay, maybe what about this one?
Come on, kid.
Okay. I think it's the EQ that's throwing me off. So let's lower the bass just a teensy little bit.
Come on, kid.
Up the reverb.
Spoke a
little bit.
distant voice.
Come on, kid.
That's getting there. Okay. Now I need to bring it up just a little bit.
Come on, kid.
Not that far.
Come on, kid. Come on, kid. Come on, kid.
That's getting there. Slowly but surely. There's just something in it that I don't like. What do I not like about this?
Come on, kid.
I think it's the delay. Like, just the separation.
Come on, kid.
What about... Maybe it's not effective enough?
Come on, kid.
Maybe it's too effective.
Come on, kid. Come on, kid.
Okay.
Come on, kid.
That's gonna have to do. Okay, let me listen to that one again to determine. Right there.
He was too weak. His eyes grew heavy and started to slip close to what he felt would be a short sleep. Closer. 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 Black met his vision, and in less than mere seconds, he was gone.
Okay, I can hear the delay in there. It's very, very low, but I can hear it. It's a very, very low reverb. Or reverb. Delay. That, and I also hear that it's not regular, it's ping pong. I didn't say inverted.
Come on, kid.
Why is it panned to set? Okay. Maybe it's not this one. Okay, that's on 3.
Come on, kid.
That's good enough.
Come on.
I'll call that good enough. Okay. Maybe it's just the voice tone that's throwing me off. I don't know. This is always a tricky one, because if you want to get that like effect of like you're coming back but you're like half dead kind of sort of sound, it takes a little bit of just, yeah,
Come on, kid.
that'll work.
Come on, kid.
Spoke a distant voice
Come on, kid.
spoke a distant voice as my eyes slowly opened. The voice was familiar, a voice I had heard before. I could feel the force against my chest as well, like 2 rough hooves pressurizing against my upper chest.
Okay. What is that?
Wake up!
Okay, I gotta... Is that anything of importance?
Come on! Wake up!
Let's just try it. And if not, I'll take it out. Okay, that was on, what, track 7? How did I feel about Genshin? I mean, they're making one. And it's from the same people who made Demon Slayer? Yeah, Demon Slayer. Which I actually just started watching Demon Slayer, and I'm in season, I want to say 3? Something like that. Damn good show. I love the bond between Nezuko and, yeah, the main character. I'm terrible with names.
Come on. Wake up.
Okay, EQ sounds kind of wonky. I need to fix that. It's too bassy. Let's sit down.
Come on. Wake up.
Spoke the voice again. The voice became more clear as I felt a large amount of water.
Come on. Wake up. Come on. Wake up.
Spoke the voice again. The voice became more clear.
Come on. Wake up.
Spoke the voice again.
That'll work. Okay, so I think what I need to do is I need to separate a little bit to give it kind of more that additional, like, impact. No pun intended. Let's see.
Come on. Wake up.
Spoke the voice again.
Okay, stop. Let me get that little out of there. What the oh. Like that?
Come on. Wake up.
Spoke the voice again.
Come on. Wake up.
Spoke the voice again. The voice became more clear.
Come on. Wake up.
Spoke the voice again. The voice became more clear.
Come on. Wake up.
That'll work.
Spoke the voice again. The voice became more clear as I felt a large amount of water escape my lungs and extract from my mouth onto the cold floor.
Okay.
I started to cough massively. Coming back to reality, I was next to the Pegasus device, and Absentia was just above me, wearing a face of worry and horror. Her hooves were...
Oh, we got a little air bubble in there. Get that out. Oh, for fuck's sake. Boink. Alright, good.
and horror. Her hooves were wet, as were mine, along with the rest of my body. That's when I remembered what had happened as I lunged upward, only to be pushed back down by Absentia. "Hey, easy, kid," she stated. Out of my blurred vision, I struggled.
Okay, hang on. I need a sound. I need a sound. Let's see. Factory. Because I need to be able to tell what the ambience will be like. Let's see here. This needs to come back a lot, so... How about that?
Back down by Absentia. "Hey, easy, kid," she stated. Out of my blurred vision, I struggled to speak, breathless and dumbfounded.
She's speaking low there, so that means that there's not much echo.
"Hey, easy, kid," she stated. Out of my blurred vision, I struggled to speak, breathless and dumbfounded on what had come to pass. What happened? I asked in a weak voice. "You tell me," stated Absentia. "I just saved your life. The door was locked from the outside of the machine." My head.
Okay, so let's see. Let's see what happened. Okay, so I need to first make this unique. That would be number 5. Let's see what we got here.
What happened? I asked in a weak voice. "You tell me," stated Absentia. "I just saved your..."
Okay, stop for a minute. Whoa, 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 whoa. How about that?
What happened? "You tell me. I just saved your life. The door was locked from the outside of the machine."
Okay. You tell me that needs to come back a lot. Okay, so this needs to come back about right there, I'd say.
What happened? "You tell me. I just saved your life. The door was locked from the outside of the machine." My head, as I attempted to stand up, was locked from the outside of the machine. My head was groggy as I attempted to stand up. Some pony, trapped me in the machine. It was no accident, but an attempt to kill me. I snapped, continuing to cough. Absentia gave me a look of severe.
Okay, stop. You can use a simple. Shit. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if that might work.
Was locked from the outside of the machine. Some pony, trapped me in the machine. It was no accident, but an attempt to kill me. I snapped, continuing to cough. I snapped, continuing to cough. Absentia gave me a look of severity. We both knew who had set it up. What in Equestria happened here?
Okay.
Shouted a familiar voice. Rainbow Dash walked toward Absentia and I. Her face.
Okay, stop. This isn't even the mix. It's gonna be... I'm just adding the effects to the voices. Mixing will probably be... not for a while, because I still gotta do chapter 3 as well.
What in Equestria happened here? Shouted a familiar voice. Rainbow Dash walked toward happened here? Shouted a familiar voice. Dash walked toward Absentia and I, her face angry. I gave you a simple assignment, and what happens? My factory floor ends up flooded. She snapped. Absentia objected.
Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5.
Face angry. I gave you a simple assignment, and what happens? My factory floor ends up flooded. She snapped. Absentia objected to Rainbow Dash's words. Absentia objected to Rainbow.
Okay, a mistake that got into the final product. Whoops. It happens.
She snapped. Absentia objected to Rainbow Dash's. She snapped. Absentia objected to Rainbow Dash's words, seeing it was clear that this attempt was set up. Hold it, Dash, stated Absentia. Some pony deliberately locked her in from the outside in an attempt to drown her. I had to save her, and even performed CPR for 10 minutes before she came back to life. Rainbow Dash expressed an angry look.
Okay, stop. Because it already says Rainbow Dash objected. Or Rainbow Dash. Absentia objected, so we already know who's talking next. So it does need to be in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that actually needs to come back a little bit. Then we need to get rid of that. Okay, let's see.
Attempt was set up. Hold it, Dash. Some pony deliberately locked her in from the outside in an attempt to her. I had to Dash. Some pony deliberately locked her in from the outside in an attempt to drown her. I had to save her, and even performed CPR for 10 minutes before she came back to life.
Stop. Fuck.
Minutes before she came back to life. Rainbow Dash expressed an angry look, but surprisingly calmed down. Is this true, worker? Rainbow Dash asked me. Catching my breath and continuing to cough, I...
Okay. Use a sample. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not 4, please. No, it's... Are you serious? Stop it.
Minutes before she came back to life. Calmed down. Is this true, worker? Rainbow Dash asked me. Catching my breath down. Is this true, worker? Rainbow Dash asked me. Catching my breath, worker? Rainbow Dash asked me. Catching my breath and continuing to cough, I gave her my best response. Yes, ma'am. Is this true, worker? Catching my breath and continuing to cough, I gave her Is this true, worker? Catching my breath and continuing to cough, I gave her my best response. Yes, ma'am. I was locked inside the machine while doing the task I was assigned. The machine started unannounced, and the door was shut from the outside by some pony in an attempt to kill me.
Stop. Alright. I'm gonna have to fix that real quick. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Hold that back.
Is this true, worker? Catching my breath and continuing to cough, I gave her my best response. Yes, ma'am. I was locked inside the machine while doing the task I was assigned. The machine started unannounced, and the door was shut from the outside by some pony in an attempt to kill me. Oh. Rainbow Dash sighed as from her belt. Kill me. Rainbow Dash sighed as a response, grabbing her radio from her belt. Security! I want you to check the footage of all the cameras positioned around the Pegasus device. Apparently, the worker assigned to cleaning it was killed due to some pony intentionally closing the only exit and locking it from the outside. She spoke. A voice came back over the radio. Yes, ma'am, spoke the security guard.
Okay, stop. Okay, I can do something like, I can just do this. I don't need to make this all blocky. Make an example, sure. So why not? Put that on 5.
Kill me. Rainbow Dash sighed as a response, grabbing her radio from her belt. Security! I want you to check the footage of all the cameras positioned around the Pegasus device. Apparently, the worker assigned to cleaning it was nearly killed due to some pony intentionally closing the only exit and locking it from the outside. Yes, ma'am, spoke the security guard. Give me around an hour to go through the footage, and I'll get the results back to you as soon as possible. Copy that. Get to work.
Okay. So, let's see. So it's gonna be static underneath when I add the mix. Should I just go with the Rainbow Dash thingamajig? That would be on track 2, I think.
Kill me.
Oh.
Yes, ma'am, spoke the security guard. Give me around,
Okay. So that might need to be upped a little bit.
Yes, ma'am. Give me around, an hour to go through the footage, and I'll get the results back to you as soon as possible. Yeah, get to work.
Okay. Copy that, get to work. What's this?
Rainbow Dash replied. After finishing her...
Okay. unique as a sample. One, two, three, four, five.
Rainbow Dash replied.
Oh.
Possible.
Copy that. Get to work. Rainbow Dash replied. After finishing her short conversation with the security pony over the radio, Rainbow Dash turned to Absentia and I with a strict look. You two better not be lying, or I'll have both of you disposed, threatened Rainbow Dash. This little mishap has caused me valuable time, and now I need to postpone the arrival of the next group of Pegasi. Her gaze met mine instantly. Her magenta eyes.
Okay. Simple. Sure. One, two, three, four, five. Alright, let's see how that looks.
Her gaze met mine.
Oh.
Both of you disposed, threatened Rainbow Dash. This little mishap has caused me valuable time, and now I need to postpone the arrival of the next group of Pegasi. Her gaze met mine instantly. Her magenta intent. Have both of you disposed. This little mishap has caused me valuable time, and now I need to postpone the arrival of the next group of Pegasi. Her gaze met mine instantly, her magenta eyes glaring at me with murderous intent. You! Get out of my sight! You better pray to Celestia that the footage proves your claims true. Her gaze averted to Absentia. As for you, Absentia, you'll take over this failure's duty.
Okay. God, she's such a bitch. But that's what's intended, because she is a bitch. That's Rainbow Factory Dash.
Have both of you disposed. This little mishap has caused me valuable time, aiming at me with murderous intent. You! Get out of sight! You murderous intent. You! Get out of my sight! You better pray to Celestia that the footage proves your claims true. Her gaze averted to Absentia. As for you, Absentia, you'll take over this failure's duty. I trust that you can finish the job in time and without any sort of issue. Affirmative, ma'am. Absentia accepted. Good. Then get on it. Rainbow Dash commanded, to which Absentia followed immediately.
Okay, stop. Okay, where are you?
Absentia accepted.
That one. Yep, that's right. Alright. Okay, pull this back.
Good. Then get on it. Rainbow Dash commanded, to which Absentia. Then get on it. Rainbow Dash commanded, to which Absentia followed immediately. Following Absentia's departure, murderous intent. You! Get out of my sight! You better pray to Celestia that the footage proves your claims true. Her gaze averted to Absentia. As for you, Absentia, you'll take over this failure's duty. I trust that you can finish the job in time and without any sort of issue. Affirmative, ma'am. Good. Then get on it. Rainbow Dash commanded, to which Absentia followed immediately. Following Absentia's departure, Rainbow Dash turned her gaze back to me. She eyed me in a way a predator would stalk its prey, but said nothing. It felt as if a spotlight were on me on a stage, but instead of it being on me to present me as the main focus, it felt like tiny daggers were being shot at me, tearing me apart thread by thread. I just tried to remain calm and give no reason for her to suspect me any further, and after what felt like eternity, Rainbow Dash finally averted her gaze elsewhere and left without another word. The silence scared the living hell out of me, seeing I had no idea what she was thinking in her head. There was no use in worrying about it now, though, so I did as Rainbow Dash had told me and took off out of sight, unaware of what was to come for the remainder of my first day in the hell known as the Rainbow Factory.
Done. Okay, I think we got her. So now we can just export. Hopefully, let me double check first. Let me just double check that there's nothing underneath. Don't look like it. So that's a good sign. Reborn. Part 2, Part 1. Okay. Alright. I need a break. How long did that take? That took me probably maybe 2.5 hours. Pretty close. 2 hours and 46. Not too bad. Not too bad. Not too shabby, I would say. The hardest challenge without taking down. Oh god. Never in a million years. Oh hey, there's my short. But yeah, you'd have to be a maniac to try that in the first place. That's one thing I'm thankful for. This is Hyperbloom, by the way.
Hey,
So, Dendro application,
Temple of Wisdom!
then you apply
Time to
Hydro, it makes the bloom cores. Maybe.
No, my sword!
Yep.
Everybody stand back! Let's get it on! You asked for it!
Supposedly the worst unit in the game, by the way. There's a comment on this? Oh, didn't I say something? Yeah, I did. And I commented this. Yes, I am fully aware Dia doesn't work with Xing Zhou's skills, but he's not there to proc vapes just to make dendro cores from Nahita's E skill. Also, in this team I do have C6 Bennett, so if you're confused on why some attacks are power infused, it's a C6 con of Benny popping up. Yeah, C6 Benny used to be horrible, but now it's great because basically for Burgeon and like vape teams, it basically just makes things so much easier. Because Vaporize and Melt are like the two highest like damage inducing reactions in the game. That's what Genshin is. It's based off of elemental reactions, which basically what Burgeon is when it's basically when a Dendro core is basically popped using a pyro unit. Basically it creates burning, which will explode and deal damage to both you and the enemy. So have a healer in your party, because otherwise you're screwed. Well, you're not really screwed if you just play smart. which it can be hard to sometimes manage. But yeah, she's supposedly the worst character. I have her on 4-piece emblem. I run her on, how much energy recharge? I think it's like 240 or something like that. And that's what Emblem of Severed Fate does. Gives you more energy recharge. Because her fucking energy recharge rate is horrible. Like, there's a lot of things wrong with this character, but if you build her correctly and you utilize her in the right teams, she can do shit. That's for, like, overworld enemies. Now, Abyss is different. Abyss is where it's the game's hardest content, and I do not ever plan to 36-star Abyss. Never do I even plan to finish floor 12. Because, screw that. That's a maniac's way of life. So, yeah, I don't really give a shit about, making the strongest unit. I'm just here to have fun. But, yeah, if you get into Genshin, you will need... One character I heavily suggest, just like before, is the Raiden Shogun. She's getting a rerun here, probably not too long. She'll be out probably, I want to say alongside not the Dendro Archon, the Hydra Archon, which is potentially going to be 4.2. So, what, 2 months? Yeah, 2 months. But that's a speculation. We don't actually know, but it's more likely going to be Hydra Archon in 4.2. Alongside somebody, but we don't know yet. But considering Raiden Shogun is normally run right around when Zhongli's rerun, yeah, I imagine she's going to get a rerun here pretty quick. And the Raiden Shogun has been a great and solid character from day one. People thought that she needed a buff. Build her with a crap ton of energy recharge, put her on the catch, R5. Yeah. Mine has done over, I want to say over 200,000 damage, something with her burst. Actually, I do have a short for that. Let me go to my channel real quick. Go to my shorts real quick here. But keep in mind, she is a 5-star, so you have to get lucky. Here's a perfect example of Hyperbloom and how deadly it is. So, this is Kirara. This is a Kirara showcase. Again, against the Ruin Guard, because Ruin Guards are pretty easy to beat.
The Temple of Wisdom!
So again, the green things on the ground, Hyperbloom Dendro cores. Basically, apply Dendro using a Dendro unit. Then Hydro creates Bloom, it causes Bloom, which makes Dendro cores, which are tiny little bombs that basically apply Dendro and deal damage.
There is no escape!
Next, I proc Raiden Z skill, and as you can see, Hyperbloom, 20,000 damage. That's all coming from her. That's all coming from Elemental Mastery, by the way. Didn't I proc what's her faces? No, I didn't. I didn't do her burst. Her burst would have boosted the EM, so I could have actually been bigger. So yeah, it pops the Hyperbloom cores, and Xingqiu makes it so that you're constantly applying Hydro. So you deal more Dendro cores. You just attack with Raiden. She applies Electro. Boom, boom, bang, boom, boom, boom. This is just a stupid build. Because what I'm basically doing there is I'm using her shield to make Dendro react. So her shield, if you touch something, it does Dendro application. So by having Hydro and Electro applied, it is a Hyperbloom unit, literally. Like, this was a fun little test. And I actually ran this team for a while until I got bored. Like, that's the problem in the game. It does get boring to use the same team comps over and over again, so split it up a little bit. I'm currently running a freeze team with Ganyu, and it's not your casual like freeze team. It's like a mix of it's Ganyu, Xingqiu, Layla, and who's my healer? Oh, Bennett. So it's kind of a melt and freeze team. But as you see, It's very deadly. It's a very deadly elemental reaction. Like, Dendro broke the game. Legitimately, it broke the game. Nahida Hyperbloom. Nahida, Raiden Hyperbloom. Do I have to say anything?
I see everything.
Blooms.
Everybody stand back.
Okay, Bennett for attack boost, because what his burst does is it creates this little red field that heals you, and it also attack boosts. So it gives you more attack damage.
I'm down. Torn to oblivion.
130,287. And she wasn't even fully built. She wasn't even fully built yet. That just goes to show you how deadly this character is. Raiden is one of the best characters in the game, and I'll still say it to this day. She is fantastic. She's easy to build if you can, get lucky with artifacts. Artifacts are the only part that are the big gamble. Then there's the Hu Tao Vaporize team, which is basically Hu Tao mixed. Which is Hu Tao and Xing Cho. Hu Tao is a pyro unit, and Vaporize happens when Pyro meets Hydro. I think either they're the other way around. I don't know if it's any different, but that's what it does. So when you have Xing Cho's little swords and you charge attack with Hu Tao, which deals pyro damage, it's constant Vaporize. It's a nasty team combo. So again, pyro application. Then I'm going to use this burst to put down that field for healing, because Hu Tao does have to be at low HP in order to run her best damage. So that's there to attack boost and heal. Okay. Sucrose. Okay, you need to understand how Swirl works. Swirl is the main animal like reaction, which basically what Swirl is when you apply Animo to like a certain element. It creates a field of that element that makes it so that whoever is applied with the swirl field becomes a lot more less immune. Like their resistance to that specific element falls, so you deal a lot more damage. That's why I chose Pyro first, because Hydro hits next. So he has the Pyro field, so he's a lot more immune. He's a lot more not resistant to Pyro, which basically Hu Tao is the main DPS here, main damage dealer. So I want him to take as much Pyro damage as possible. So now it's swirled with Pyro. Deal the Vaporize right there, 14,000. Get the swords. Then hit him with the burst. 161k damage. And keep in mind, she's not even at her lowest amount. She's at 16k health. You know, Hu Tao's not everyone's playstyle. No. Basically, you need her C1 really to just get any, like, use out of her, because it doesn't use her stamina. But if you don't have C1, well, it's a little different than that. The Yao Yao one was actually really cool too, because Yao Yao's just kind of stupid. She's a healer that basically throws her rabbit throws things at monsters that deal dendro damage, and they heal you. So yeah. Then again, Dia, worst character in the game. I built this team comp. Again, I'm picking Ruin Guards because Ruin Guards are actually pretty easy enemies to kill. They're also, don't they have like the least immunity to every element? I believe so. Okay, swirl the Pyro. So apply Pyro, swirl Pyro, Pyro shield now up. He's a lot less, you know, he's a lot less resistant to pyro.
Going in!
Benny Field for extra damage, Hydro for the vaporize, and the thingamajigs.
Ha! You asked for it!
20k. Just saying. That's not bad damage. Like, she's definitely not an Abyss character, but Overworld, yeah, she can do just fine. In fact, I kind of find it funny that Dia, like, how do I explain this? I kind of find it hilarious that I can just, like, run Dia over and over again in the emblem domain and not die. Because here's what, she basically destroys Dragonspine, because in Dragonspine there's this lovely little mechanic called Sheer Cult, which basically, unless you're near a fire, you're going to freeze to death. There's like a little meter that goes up, because Dragonspine is so cold that it basically kills your character slowly but surely. So, here's what happens when Dia gets too low on health. When she goes below, I think, 1/4 of her health, she immediately starts to heal again. So if the freeze just begins to lower her health, she just heals herself. So, best Dragonspine character, because you can literally just walk through without having to worry about fighting a stupid fire. Ugh, one of my least favorite places in the game. I hated Dragonspine. But anyways, back to work. Now I just gotta check to make sure everything is okay, and we'll be fine. If it'll let me, but yeah. With Fontaine coming out, the thing about this place is that we're gonna get underwater exploration, which is, it can be a pro or a con. Because here's the thing that the Genshin devs love to do. They love to put stuff that you need underground or in places that you really don't want to go, so it's annoying. So they'll quest lock it so that you have to do the quest. So it can be either a win or a miss. Because, yeah, if they're gonna put every freaking thing down there that you need in order to freaking, like, progress in, like, you know, the game, yeah, it's not fun. It's basically torture. Sumeru was horrible at it, because a lot of the Sumeru, like, oculi things that you need in order to increase, like, your world statue is basically all underground. And to get to these ones underground, you had to learn how to open these tunnels through the most obscure ways you can possibly fucking imagine. Not to mention you had to do a 10-hour long fucking quest line that took you forever, and it was poorly mapped, so you didn't know what the hell you were doing the majority of the time. Can you tell that I didn't enjoy it? Fucking horrible. Part 2. Oh, part 1. Part 2. What the fuck are you talking about? Do I have to find you manually? Oh wait, is it part 2? Oh, it's part 2, part 1. My bad. Part 2, part 1. That one. So yeah, it's very, very fucking annoying when they do that kind of crap. But yeah, the R&R quest, the R&R quest line in freaking Sumeru, sure, it pays good in terms of primo gems, but dear God, is it poorly mapped. I had to look up so many guides on how to do this bullshit, and yeah, to get all of the oculi things that you need for your world statues, you had to do this quest line. I hate that, because what it does is it's basically the devs saying, well, since they don't play this all that often, we're gonna force them to play it, and then we'll get more, you know, ratings in that kind of area of playing the game. No, that's torturing your players. The R&R quest line is not something you have to necessarily do, But if you want to progress and get like exploration and percentage and all that stuff, yeah, you have to do it. It's fucking bullshit. The underground parts of Sumeru were just the fucking worst. The one area that I can say I absolutely loved in Sumeru was the Oasis. That place is beautiful. It has some of the best music in the game in that region, and there was a few little puzzles that were annoying, but other than that, the lore was great, the story was fantastic, the music is fucking phenomenal, the aesthetics are fucking amazing. You know, it's a lot for what you would think a mobile game wouldn't be capable of, but it is. That's another thing about Genshin. You need to have at least 15 gigs of space, if I remember correct. Something like that. And it only gets even more spacey and spacey and spacey. So, yeah. It all depends on, and depending on what kind of combat you like. Like if you like straight into the action where you're controlling the character and every time and the environment is just is consistently a danger kind of combat, you're gonna love Genshin because it's all that kind of play style. However, if you like turn-based stuff where you can stop and like think on what your next action should be, Honkai Star Rail 100%. That game is one of the best Hoyoverse games. I'm not kidding. I honestly didn't think I was gonna like Honkai Star Rail, but I gave it a shot and I love it. It's very well paced. The story is fantastic. The graphics are great. The characters are all fantastic as well. And the playstyle is actually really fair. Not to mention, the gacha is very fair for free-to-play players. They give you enough time to they give you enough leverage to where you can gather enough jades to wish for characters. And not every character is to everybody's playstyle, so it's a constant this can fit this person, this can fit that person kind of thing. Like, you can skip these banners, no problemo, and it doesn't affect anything. It's not like in Genshin, like, if you don't have, Nahida or the Ryan Shogun, you can't build a busted team like of Hyperbloom. No. In Honkai Star Rail, it's very easy to build a very good team. In my opinion, the most busted characters right now in the game are easily Luocha and Seele. Seele is disgusting. Basically what she does is if she kills something, she basically gets an extra turn. And you would think that would just be like, oh, she gets an extra turn, yay. No, she gets 8 extra turns. I'm not joking. If I could put it on my computer and show you how she works, it's fucking ridiculous. Pair her with Bronya and Tingyun, and she's disgusting. Because what Bronya does is she gives her a boost in not only the order of the attacks, but also gives an attack boost to Seele as well. So she's more likely to kill something. Then there's her burst, which just does a crap ton of damage. And that's mainly what's her best suit, or her most damage-inducing thing. But Bronya and her together is just disgusting. You just need those two characters, the healer they give you in game, which is Natasha, and what's another free character they give you? The Trailblazer is pretty good. But really, all you need is a healer, Seele, and Bronya. Done. It's over. Which I feel really bad for the people that did not even get the chance to go after Seele, because, oh my god, is she disgusting. Mine loves to not crit for some reason, but I give her like 68% crit rate and she does not hit for shit. But she still kills. But yeah, it's pretty disgusting how easy it is to build a good team comp in the game. Not to mention, the starter characters they give you are not like, power crapped. Are there stronger units? Yes, but these can last a long time and actually do a considerable amount of damage. The ones they give you are March 7th, the Trailblazer, Don Hong, and who am I missing? Oh god, who am I missing? That's only 3. There should be 4. Oh, Natasha. Those 4 right there all work together. It's no problemo. Like, you can build these characters and they'll do the thing. The only thing about the game that's being fixed, they're actually fixing this. They're actually fucking listening, unlike Genshin, who doesn't listen to bullshit. Like, the devs of Genshin really should take a look at what Honkai Star Rail devs are doing and really learn from it, because Genshin has needed upgrades that are coming to Honkai Star Rail after only 2 months of being released. Yeah, Genshin has been out for 2.5 years now, and here we are still at 160 resin a day when it should be 240 easily. What am I looking for? And they do this just because they can. They do this just because they can. They don't really want to listen to the people. Like, they have pissed a lot more people off than they have actually helped in Genshin. Once they got a considerable amount of revenue coming in, all they care about is money. When in Honkai Star Rail, the current max amount of resin that you can, or energy you can get per day, is 180. Guess what? They're upping that to 240. So now you get 4 runs a day and a lot more value out of your daily stuff in the game. Like, unless the story's out or something, I normally just log in, do my dailies, build my characters. Good. I'm done. Like, this game does not take up a considerable amount of time. It actually is very quick, straight to the point. But when the story comes out, oh boy. Yeah. So it doesn't require a lot of time to play this game. It takes like maybe 10 minutes, besides when, a story is out, which it usually takes around maybe 2 hours for a story to be complete. Not to mention, they actually add challenges to the fucking story. It's not like in Genshin where it's like hand-fed to you and it's so easy to fucking beat a boss. No, the most recent boss that came out, I couldn't beat it 3 times in a row. It was fucking hard. Even with Zila and Bronya combo, it was still fucking hard. So, yeah. There's a comparison right there for you between 2 different kinds of games. But Honkai, definitely a much better game, better story, better production, and a lot better dev, like a better dev team that actually listens and gives a shit. But Genshin is still fun. It's got a great story. It's got fantastic characters. It's easy to really get addicted to. Very, very, very easily to get addicted to. So, but Genshin does require a lot more time, a lot more investment. Which by investment, I don't mean like spending. I mean by investing your time into it. Which, if you want a character and you are free to play, you're going to have to grind your fucking ass off. If there's not like a story event out or something like that, and there's no story at all, you're going to be grinding for every Primo Gem possible. You're going to be looking up on the internet these side quests that you have to unlock in most obscure ways you can imagine. Then there's chests. You want to know how I got as much exploration progress as I did in the desert area? It's because I was grinding for Dia. I went from like 60% exploration to 90, looking for every chest I could possibly get. But altogether, both games are great. So it's really up to you. But yeah, another game you should really look into as well, even though it's older, Honkai Star Rail. Or not Honkai Star Rail, Honkai Impact. I'm playing this game. Fantastic game. It has some of the best story I've ever seen a mobile game, for that matter, produce. Like, every character is likable. You have characters that you like and hate at times, and the story is huge. Like, I can't even explain it to you because it's so complex and so well written. But again, you're gonna need at least 27 gigs worth of space. You're gonna need is it a time investing game? Not really. You can take your time with Honkai Impact very, very well. Because Honkai Impact basically is a game where you can take your own pace. You don't have to rush through the story because they actually allow you to play events that don't pertain to the story by any means. Like the one that's out right now, it pays really well. It's actually very well written. Like, the writing in this game is huge. And if you like anime and can handle like just listening to Japanese and reading like the text, like if you watch a lot of anime and read this English subtitles, you'll be fine. Because there's no English in this game whatsoever in terms of voice acting. All there is English subs. But again, that's up to you. I personally love it, and it's a lot more challenging, I can tell you that for a fucking matter. Like, if you like the Dragon Ball Z games, if you like Tekken, if you like, you know, Final Fantasy, those games are very much like this one. Combo attacks and stuff like that are really a huge matter that play into Honkai Impact. The story is complex and all that stuff, but it's worth it. It took me about a month to finish because I took breaks in between, because this game not only has a great story, but it's also a very like impactful story, no pun intended. But again, it's up to you. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna call it there. I'm tired, I'm hungry, I need a break. So I'll see y'all later, and thank you for joining me, and I'll be yours until the next time.